Please subscribe.
It's at long last here. 4 years after the Mission E idea appeared, and 7 days after its underlying presentation, the Porsche Taycan has touched base at the 2019 Frankfurt Motor Show. It's as of now demonstrated its slashes by grabbing a record as the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Likely considerably increasingly essential to purchasers is that they'll at last be a genuine option in contrast to the Tesla Model S, which has since quite a while ago administered the enormous extravagance electric car perch. Regardless of whether Porsche will have the option to extricate Tesla's stranglehold on the fragment stays to be seen. However, appealing looks, gonzo execution and a tech-loaded lot seem to place the Taycan in the situation to do only that when it goes marked down in the not-so-distant future. Outwardly, Porsche originators had the option to persist the solidating of structure attributes from the Mission E idea to the generation Taycan. The outside's dug-in position, low-inclining front end, articulated bumpers, flush entryway handles and persistent backlight strip all make the cut. 4-point LED daytime running lights are additionally part of the bundle. At dispatch, the Taycan will be offered in a turbo trim riding on 20-inch wheels, and Turbo S detail that gets standard carbon fiber trim and sits on 21-inch wheels. Indeed, we understand it's sad to utilize Turbo and Turbo S on a vehicle that doesn't utilize turbochargers, or, an inward ignition motor, with the drag coefficient of 0.22, the Taycan Turbo has the most reduced drag of any vehicle in Porsche's present creation lineup. Full underbody framing likewise adds to its tricky streamline features. The Taycan Turbo S is marginally less effective at slicing through the air, with a 0.25 drag coefficient. At its center, the Taycan's body is worked from a blend of steel and aluminum consolidated with a wide range of welding forms, screws, bolts and glues. Increasing traveler security is hot-shaped steel for the body's columns, side rooftop casing and seat crosspart, and boron steel for the bulkhead crosspart. The majority of this improves traveler security. For execution purposes, the safeguard mounts, pivot mounts and backside individuals are developed of pass-on cast or manufactured aluminum, while all body boards short the front and back guards are additionally produced using aluminum to shave weight. Altogether, 37% of the Taycan is made of aluminum. The Taycan utilizes another battery electric drivetrain comprising of a changeless attractive synchronous engine on every hub, giving the Taycan all-wheel drive. In advance, control is steered to the wheels through a solitary speed gearbox. At the back, push goes through a 2-speed transmission with a short first triggering giving greatest increasing speed execution and a long proportion second conveying top speed and productivity. Power originates from a 93.4 kWh lithium particle battery pack that serves as an auxiliary case segment and keeps the focal point of gravity low. The outcomes are amazing. The 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo puts out 670 pull and 626 pound-feet of torque. On account of a 2.5-second overboost period, Porsche gauges the Taycan will hurry to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds level, and spread the quarter mile in 11.1 seconds. In Taycan Turbo S structure, control increments to 750 strength and 774 pound-feet during overboost, for a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 2.6 seconds and a quarter mile keep running of 10.8 seconds, as indicated by Porsche. The two models top out at 162 miles per hour. The extremely significant driving reach relies upon how hard the Taycan is driven, and what mode it's driven in. A range setting puts the powertrain in a vitality-tasting setting with an interest-based, two-wheel drive mode that decouples the back pivot. Then again, the most presentation-centered Sport Plus conveys max capacity to every one of the four wheels. A US spec EPA range gauge isn't yet accessible, however Porsche's own WLTP-based test engages 279 miles of driving reach for the Turbo, and 256 miles for the Turbo S. Likewise with all other WLTP to EPA changes, there's no precise method to decipher them. Yet note the US numbers will probably be marginally lower than these fundamental estimates. Porsche built up a 800-volt charging framework explicitly for the Taycan. With it, Porsche says squeezing the battery pack from a 5% condition of charge to 80% takes simply 22.5 minutes in perfect circumstances, with the DC quick charger offering 270 kilowatts of intensity. Charge times are subject to climate conditions and foundation, however Porsche has found a way to address the two issues. To decrease charge times in both hot and cold temperatures, the battery can be thermally preconditioned utilizing a charging organizer. Proprietors essentially need to set the takeoff time in the organizer, and the vehicle will consequently warm or cool the battery for ideal charging times. Helping address roadside framework issues, Porsche has cooperated up with Electrify America, which as of now has 268 charging stations in the U.S. An extra 160 are under development, with plans calling for 600 elite charging stations being operational along interstates before the finish of 2020. Each Taycan sold in the U.S. will accompany a free initial 30 minutes of charge time for a long time at Electrify America areas. Moreover, all Porsche sellers will offer charge focuses, and a Porsche charging service application will help locate some other charge focuses, giving data, for example, control level, connector types and number of open fittings. At home, where Porsche anticipates that 80–90% of charging to occur, the organization is offering a charging dock and versatile charger associated with the 9.6 kilowatt connector that will squeeze up the Taycan in 11 hours. With an EV being the greatest power-devouring thing on a house's capacity framework, Porsche additionally built up a Vitality Chief that can be introduced in a home's electrical switch. It's equipped for dealing with the house's capacity stream, giving expense-advancing charging, utilizing sun-based power and giving power outage insurance by lessening the charge to the vehicle if other family unit machines, for example, coolers or dryers, turn on and surpass the breaker's maximum power limit. Power is nothing without control, and the Taycan surely has it, as demonstrated by the previously mentioned Nürburgring lap record. Improving reflexes of the more than 5,000 pound vehicle is the stiffest skeleton to support a Porsche creation vehicle to date, a super wide track, focal point of gravity that is lower than a 911 GT3, an air suspension, completely factor all-wheel drive framework, torque vectoring back differential and snappier footing control reflexes. To hone things further, back hub controlling will be standard on the Turbo S and discretionary on Turbo models, while a variable anti-roll bar will likewise be advertised. To slaughter speed, the Turbo utilizes 10-cylinder calipers chomping down on 16.3-inch brake rotors in advance, and 4-cylinder clampers with 14.3-inch rotors at the back. The Turbo S is redesigned with somewhat greater, 16.5-inch carbon clay plates in front and 16.1-inch circles out back. Being a battery electric vehicle, the Taycan features pedal lift-off brake vitality recovery with various modes, extending from off for unadulterated drifting and all-out that Porsche says covers 90% of halting occasions and lessens brake wear. Heading inside, the 911 Rouse Lodge is basically structured, with a 16.8-inch, 4-mode, advanced instrument bunch possessing the most elevated purpose of the dash. Lodge trim contributions will incorporate standard cowhides and woods, yet in addition incorporate reasonable alternatives, for example, normally tan calfskin and even leatherette for clients who need a dairy animal's stowaway-free condition. All Taycans will accompany glass rooftop, giving 100% UV security on account of a mix of dim glass, tint and a low-E covering to keep things light and vaporous inside. Talking about air, the atmosphere controls are completely computerized, which means you even control the heading of the vents through a control board in a touchscreen. 2 modes are pre-arranged for immediate and aberrant wind stream, while an individual setting can give proprietors a chance to calibrate vent settings just as they would prefer. A 2-zone atmosphere framework is standard, however a 4-zone arrangement is accessible, giving backseat tenants a 5.9-inch screen to control their half. Another infotainment framework makes a big appearance in the Taycan, with a 10.9-inch Focus touchscreen offering route with ongoing traffic, voice directions, Apple CarPlay and the main full mix of Apple Music in a vehicle. To play tunes, Bose and Burmester sound frameworks will be offered and will be equipped for playing Apple Digital Masters documents for studio-quality sound from a library that incorporates in excess of 50 million tunes. Another fascinating Taycan infotainment wrinkle is the accessibility of an extra 10.9-inch touchscreen for travelers. The generally $1,100 choice empowers travelers to scan for music and enter goals or waypoints free of the inside screen. The 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo and Turbo S will touch base in sellers in the not-so-distant future, with estimating starting at $150,900 for the Turbo and $185,000 for the Turbo S in the event that you hold a vehicle now. The two figures do exclude $1,350 for gold. At the point when the vehicle authoritatively dispatches, the beginning sticker price for the Turbo will increment to $153,310 and the Turbo S to $187,610. While Porsche authorities won't yet affirm if less intense variants of the Taycan are in the pipeline, no one has by and large denied this reality, either. In light of the numerous emphases of each other Porsche model underway, it's almost guaranteed that more Taycan models are en route. What we do know, however, is a generation vehicle dependent on the Mission E-Cross Turismo idea will hit showrooms before the finish of 2020.